Hey guys, how you doing? This is Thiago from Flip, okay? And in this video class we're gonna talk a little bit about the past perfect, okay? So the class is pretty simple, the topic is pretty simple. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Take a look. Okay, my friends, so as I said, today we'll talk a little bit about the past perfect. And I'm going to start talking about the past perfect, giving you an example, right? So pay attention to my sentence right here. See if you notice something different, right? We have there, when I arrived, she had left, right? So if you analyze, there are two different types of verb there. I have a verb in the simple past, arrived, and I have a verb in the past perfect. This is the past perfect. In this case, she had left. Now, for you to understand better, let's take a look at something here. I have a timeline for you. So imagine that this is the present, right? And behind the present is all the past, okay? It's all in the past. Now imagine that I have two different actions, right? Two different moments in the past, right? First one, I can say that she left, right? First, she left. And after she left, I arrived. So if you analyze, there are, as I said, two different moments in the past. One moment which is more recent, when I arrived, and another moment which happened a longer time ago, which happened longer ago. So in this case, she left. So first she left, and after I arrived. Every time I talk about this further past, this action in a more distant past, I'm gonna be using the past perfect, okay? I'm gonna give you some more examples in the future, but now I would like you to pay attention to something. Look, had left indicates the past perfect, okay? It indicates the most distant action in the past, while arrived, in this case, the simple past indicates the most recent activity, okay? Now, pay attention to this. Now, I am going to talk about the structure of the past perfect, okay? So we have there, we're gonna use the pronoun plus had or had not, if it's negative. Of course, you can use hadn't, yeah? So pronoun plus had or hadn't, plus the past participle. Now, for you to visualize, I'm gonna give you an example, right? So take a look at the example. They had forgotten, or they had not forgotten, they hadn't forgotten, right? So basically this is the structure of the past perfect. We will use past perfect, remember, to talk about a more distant, in time, of course, we're going to talk about a more distant past. And we're going to use, in the more recent past, you're going to use the simple past. So that's why I use when I arrived, recent past, she had left, which happened a longer time ago. Okay? Now, let's move on here. I'm going to give you some other examples, right? So let's take a look. Let's keep talking about the past perfect. And now I will give you another timeline, right? So we have the present, we have the past, and we have the moments in the past, two different moments in the past. So remember, the most distant moment, we're going to use the past perfect. The most recent moment, we're going to use the simple past, right? Now, pay attention to something here. He had traveled when I called him. So question is, what happened first? He traveled or I called him? If you analyze, I am using had traveled, which indicates the past perfect. So had traveled is the most distant activity or the most distant moment in time, while I called him is a more recent past, okay? So when I use past perfect, I am talking about the most distant past. When I use the simple past, I'm talking about the most recent past, okay? Not complicated, just pay attention, right? There is something else. In general, it's not an obligation that we keep this order for the sentences. So for example, he had traveled when I called him. She had arrived when I called her. All right. So what is important is to convey the message, but the order of the sentence is not important. For example, I can say he had traveled when I called him, or I can say when I called him, he had traveled. You see, it doesn't make any difference in the meaning. All right? Okay? So my friends, now let's continue here. I'll talk a little bit more about the past perfect. But now, my friends, I will give you some more examples and some differences. So let's take a look here. I can say, Anna was angry because she had missed her flight. So for example, I can say that yesterday Anna was angry because 2 days ago she missed her flight. What happened first? She missed her flight or she was angry? She got angry. Actually, she missed her flight first, right? So she missed her flight, and because of that, she was angry. So look at the example I have again. Anna was angry because she had missed her flight. Okay? Now, let's move on to the other example I have here, which is when they got to school, the teacher hadn't started yet. So when they arrived there, the teacher hadn't started the class. Probably he was going to start the class after they arrived. Okay? Now, my friends, I need you to pay extra special attention to this part, right? Remember, when I talk about a more distant past, past perfect. When I talk about a more recent past, simple past, right? And then I'm going to use both tenses in the phrases, okay? In the sentences, all right? Now, pay attention to this. When I use before or after in the middle of the sentences, when I use before or after, there is no past perfect required. So, I mean, it's not an obligation for me to use. I can use it, but it's not necessary, okay? And I would say it doesn't even sound well. So, let's take a look at the examples I have here, and then you'll understand better what I'm talking about, right? So, pay attention to this. We ate dinner before they arrived, right? We ate dinner before they arrived. And the other one I have is, they called a few minutes after we left. So, in these two sentences I'm using before and after. Pay attention because when I use before and after, there is no need, as I said before, to use the past perfect. So, you can notice that all the verbs are in the simple past. So look, we ate dinner before they arrived, simple past, and they called a few minutes after we left. All the verbs in the simple past again. Alright? So remember, when I use before and after, it's not necessary to use the past perfect. It's not an obligation, right? Okay? So, now to finish, I'm going to give you some more expressions, some more common and usual words and expressions that we use when we create sentences using the past perfect, right? So pay attention to the sentences I have here and the expressions I have here, right? First one is, by the time I was 21, I had traveled to 5 countries. By the time, it's something very similar to when. When I was 21, I had traveled to 5 countries. When I completed 21 years old, I had, before that, I traveled to 5 different countries. I had traveled to 5 different countries, right? Okay, let's move on to the next one. When Kevin had a health problem, he had already stopped smoking. So, when in this case, it's just like you have seen before many times, right? When Kevin had a health problem, he had already stopped smoking. When indicates the time, right? And already, in this case, gives some emphasis, okay? Some emphasis, like he had already stopped smoking, okay? Now, I have some more examples for you here. Let's take a look. First one is, Michael had a snack before his parents arrived. Attention, in this case, I am using before. So, no past perfect required, right? So, Michael had a snack before his parents arrived. And finally, Michael's parents arrived after he had a snack. First he had a snack, and then his parents arrived. The order that you make the sentence is not important. The important is that you give the correct chronological order. All right? My friends, so basically this is it for this video class, right? I hope you guys have enjoyed it, right? Don't forget to watch our other videos, all right? There are many other interesting videos for you to watch, okay? Subscribe to the channel, and I really appreciate your attention here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.